List comeback stories in crypto. A really detailed plan to take the Terra Classic ecosystem, the one famous for its collapse, and totally transform it into a leader in financial privacy.
And that right there is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's a huge question, but it's exactly what this whole revival mission is all about. The idea that maybe, just maybe, the ashes of a spectacular failure could be the very foundation for the next big thing in financial tech.
And here it is. This is the core belief. The huge, audacious claim driving this whole thing. The goal isn't just to recover, it's to jump to the front of the pack and solve one of the biggest problems in all of digital finance. So, the big question is, how could they possibly pull that off?
Well, it all starts with understanding this fundamental tug-of-war that's happening right now in finance, what the proposal calls the global privacy dilemma.
Just think about it for a second. On one side, you've got us, the users. We expect our financial lives to be private, right? We don't want everyone seeing what we buy or how much we make. But on the other side, you've got regulators who need transparency to stop crime and ensure compliance. And those two things are just fundamentally at odds with each other. So that leaves you with two basic options. You can go for total, complete anonymity, but that's pretty much a dead end with regulators. We've seen how that plays out. The other path, and the one this whole mission is based on, is called selective privacy. It's this clever middle ground. The idea is to protect user data, keep it confidential, but still have a way to verify things for compliance. According to this plan, this isn't just a nice idea, it is the only way forward for crypto to get mass adoption. And the magic ingredient that makes this all possible is a piece of tech called zero-knowledge proofs, or ZKPs for short. The simplest way to think about it is this. It's like being able to prove to someone that you know a secret password without ever telling them what the password is. You prove something is true without revealing the how or the what. It's pretty amazing stuff.
Okay, so this all sounds super futuristic and cutting edge, which leads to the giant elephant in the room. Why in the world would you try to build this on Terra Classic? The chain that's literally famous for one of the biggest collapses in crypto history.
Now this is where the argument gets really interesting, because it basically flips the script. It takes all of Terra Classic's perceived weaknesses and reframes them as strengths. The logic is, with no founder or company in charge anymore, it's become this incredibly decentralized, community-run project. Every single upgrade has to be voted on. It means that if they build these privacy tools, they would be owned and controlled by the community itself, not some corporation.
So let's get into the nitty-gritty. How would this technology, these zero-knowledge proofs, actually work on the Terra Classic chain? This breaks it down perfectly. Let's say you want to send some money privately. Step 1, you start the transaction, that's your claim. Then, the network uses a ZKP to mathematically prove that, yep, you actually have the funds to send. And here's the kicker. That proof is confirmed without revealing anything else. Not your address, not the receiver's address, not the amount. The network knows the transaction is valid, but all the sensitive details stay completely private. And once you have that core technology, it unlocks all these powerful features for the USTC stablecoin. We're talking shielded transfers for everyday people who just want privacy, but also selective disclosure tools for businesses that need to prove they're compliant. Even auditable, but still private, systems for big financial institutions. It's a whole toolkit for privacy. Okay, so this isn't just about adding some cool tech. The real ambition here is way bigger. It's about using this privacy tech to build a global payment system that people and businesses can actually use every single day. And when you stop and think about it, this just makes sense. Privacy isn't a nice-to-have in real-world finance, it's an absolute necessity. A local coffee shop can't have its daily earnings broadcast to Starbucks down the street. You don't want your online shopping history to be a public record. Real commerce requires confidentiality, period. And let's be clear, this is not a small task. We're not talking about a simple patch. The plan calls for rebuilding the entire original Terra payment stack from the ground up. That means new APIs for developers, new tools for merchants, a massive undertaking to create the infrastructure to support all this. So with all this going on, what's the role for the two main tokens? This chart makes it super clear. Think of USTC as the money. It's the stable currency you'd actually use for all these private payments. Meanwhile, LUNC is the engine and the steering wheel. It's the token that secures the whole network and gives its holders the power to vote on the future of the ecosystem. If you look back at the history of crypto, every massive growth spurt was fueled by a new, exciting story. Back in 2013, it was just proving Bitcoin could work. In 2017, it was the ICO and smart contract boom. In 2021, it was all about DeFi and NFTs. The argument being made here is that the next big story, the next massive wave, will be about combining ZKP privacy with real-world payments.
All right, let's bring it all home and talk about the ultimate end goal here, what the proposal calls the Terra Renaissance. This isn't just about getting back to zero, it's about creating something entirely new.
This is the grand vision. A global payment system that runs on privacy but is completely controlled by its users, not a corporation. It's about taking a failed stablecoin and giving it real, tangible use in the world. And in doing all that, maybe, just maybe, proving that you can have both privacy and compliance, the holy grail that the entire crypto industry has been searching for.
And so we're left with this final, massive question. Is this a legitimate, brilliant blueprint for one of the greatest comeback stories ever told? Or is the weight of the past just too heavy? Is rebuilding that trust and that technology simply too big a challenge, making this a true mission impossible? The truth is, nobody knows, and that story is still waiting to be written.